going forward. I'd like to shift focus to India's new labour law regime, which is now in place. 29 colonial-era laws have been repealed or rationalised into 4 new labour codes. The central government will be fixing what it calls a floor wage, taking into account minimum living standards across geographies. The states, however, will have the power to fix the minimum wage rate, which shall not be lesser than the floor wage fixed by the centre. India right now has only a benchmark when it comes to what we call the national wage rate with no legal binding. Sandhya Gora joins us now. Sandhya, give us a primer on wage rates in India.
So India does not have a central uniform minimum wage. However, there is something known as the national floor wage of 178 rupees per day, which is a benchmark set by the Government of India under the Code on Wages 2019. However, this is only a benchmark and has no legal binding. The national floor wage is simply recommendatory and indicative in nature. And although the central government periodically revises the variable dearness allowance, that is VDA, an important component in the formula, these revisions also remain non-statutory. The Anup Satpathy Committee in 2019 had recommended a higher national floor wage of 375 rupees per day, but wasn't accepted by the central government. So who controls and fixes minimum wage rates in India? The power lies with the states. The rate depends on several factors, including the development zone of a state, the industry, the skill level of the worker, and the type of occupation. For example, in Uttar Pradesh, the minimum wage for an unskilled worker is 11,021 rupees per month. In neighbouring Bihar, the minimum wage for unskilled workers is 11,128 rupees per month. However, the parameters are different in Maharashtra, which is divided into 3 zones as well. And here's where it becomes a complex understanding. The minimum wage for unskilled workers is 13,635 rupees per month in Maharashtra in Zone 1, 13,039 rupees in Zone 2 and 12,440 rupees in Zone 3. In Andhra Pradesh, the minimum wage for unskilled workers is 13,248 rupees per month in Zone 1, 12,498 rupees per month in Zone 2 and 12,248 rupees per month in Zone 3. In Jammu and Kashmir, minimum wage for unskilled workers is 8,086 rupees per month. In Delhi, minimum wage for unskilled workers is 18,456 rupees per month. Labour unions are unhappy with the lack of clarity surrounding the new floor minimum wage. The Labour Secretary told us yesterday that a committee to fix the floor rate will be formed soon.
Floor wage was there earlier also. However, it was not mandatory. It was an optional kind of a floor wage, which Government of India used to fix at regular intervals. Now, as per the new codes, the floor wage is going to be having a statutory backing, which means it's mandatory and no state should fix their minimum wage below the floor wage. The floor wage would, as you said, look into the minimum living standards, and there would be a committee of experts that would be deciding on what should be the floor wage, and these would be periodically revised upwards.
It's time for a short break, but coming up on the other side, India has lodged a strong protest with Beijing after a woman born in Arunachal Pradesh was detained at the Shanghai airport by authorities who declared her Indian passport invalid. We discussed that and more on the other side with Brahma Chalani and also former diplomat Anil Trigunath.